want me to put it.
Yeah, I was just thinking because like we kind of taped a blanket up over the door.
Right.
And I don't really want to have to untape that right now.
That's kind of hard to get through.
Yeah. I'm just expecting my dad to come banging on my door for some reason and be like, I need to talk to you right now. And he'll be like, can you call me later?
I think what's really funny is if you like tried to open it, he'd just be like, oh God, where's the room?
Where'd the room go?
He's going through a phase. He's going through the blanket over the door phase.
Oh, so edgy, dude. I don't know. I have a carpet hanging on my wall. Like,
see, but that's like legit though. I like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. It looks cool, I think.
And probably at some point adds a muffler to your sound stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. There have been multiple times where I'm like recording in here, like one of my songs, and I'll be listening to like the playback in my headphones, and I can hear like the faintest like slap back from the walls.
Right.
So I really want to invest in like actual sound panels, but
that'd be cool.
It looks cool to have a stupid rug hanging on my wall.
It's great.
But yeah, I much prefer paintings, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. As long as it's like a nice rug. If it was like super ugly, I'd be like,
oh yeah. I wouldn't have bought it if I thought it was ugly.
Yeah.
The one that's on the ground, I think is ugly. And that's why it's on the ground and not hanging on my other wall.
It almost looks faded.
Yeah. Well, it definitely has because I've been stepping on it so much.
Oh, that.
It was also super cheap.
Oh.
Yeah.
I need to get me a rug now I think about it.
Yeah. So what were you saying about your toolbox? You got your toolbox finally?
Yeah. So for those who don't know, I'm a mechanic. I have decided to pursue the mechanical arts. I tried saying that to a mechanic once, asking him like, hey, how do I get into the mechanic scene? How do I do the art of mechanic work? And he immediately chimes in, like I'm texting him, and he immediately just responds by, okay, so first of all, the mechanic industry is not an art. You do nothing artistic. Okay. It's very logical. And I was like, okay, first of all, guy, that was a joke. Like I was not like under the impression that this was like painting cars. Okay. Like God. I'm not thinking of body work or anything, but I just thought it was super funny because I was just kind of being colloquial about it, going like, oh, what's like, how do I get into the art of mechanic work? And he's like, it is not an art. It is strictly like business. You are all logic. I'm like, okay, I can prove you wrong, but also, I mean, whatever. So, because I consider it an art, but that's my opinion. So anyway, today I brought a new box that I got from the tool store.
Which tool store, Josiah?
The Harbor Freight tool store. I don't know. I just wanted to let tool store sink in. I'm not a tool though, but I brought it to my work and like I had to assemble it and stuff. And all the guys were like, I say all the guys, there's only 2 guys, and they were like, whoa, you got a box. Like, you're like one of us now, man. We're so proud of you. I'm like, thanks, man. And it was really funny because it's like, it was almost like it was like my new kid. Like they're like, whoa, he's got, wow, he's so beautiful. I'm like, yeah, it's a box. But yeah, I'm excited about that. So yeah.
Nice.
Also, when I drove over here, there was just a piece of corn laying on the ground, like right next to where I parked, and it looked like I hit it.
Like a whole head of corn or whatever.
Yeah, but it just looked like it was a hit and run. Like I just hit the corn, and it was like the crime scene of me hitting the corn. But
why the frick is there corn on my street?
I don't know. It's right in front of your guys' Armada, but I don't know what it's doing there.
Oh. It's probably just my nieces then.
Oh, is it? Okay.
They're psychopaths.
I mean, it's biodegradable, so at least they're not like destroying the earth. Excuse me.
I'm sure a dog will eat it by nightfall.
Yeah.
Even though it's nighttime right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about 1 a.m. as we record this.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
not
a total
getting any
joke.
sleep is awesome.
Yeah. It's 7:30. Like, yeah. We're not even sweating.
It's probably
right
1 a.m. at like Kansas City or something.
10 o'clock.
Is it 10 o'clock?
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm bad at time.
You're the car guy. So.
Yeah. I'm the car guy, not the math
Do you even
guy.
know how to reset a car alarm clock?
Yeah, you just break the car.
Oh.
And then fix it.
Well, what if it's already broken? How do you
car alarm?
No, I meant the
like clock thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's usually when like you have to when you disconnect the battery. It depends on what car too. Like some of them are really complicated where you have to like go into this small little menu that they expect you to know how to use. And I'm like, bro, I don't know your world that you're making. Sorry, kind of talk in the microphone. I don't, some automakers, they're like, oh, like, you know what we're doing, right? And I'm like, you put the battery in, like you dug it inside the trunk. How am I supposed to know how to get to that if you're the only one in the world that does that? And they're like, no. Like, everyone does this. This is totally a new revolutionary thing. No, you're just being annoying. Like, you actually have room in the engine bay to put it in the battery under the hood. And you just like, oh, now we'll just put it like in the trunk where no one will ever see it. They go bad, guys. And us mechanics, like, to you engineers that decided to do that for like 20 plus years, us mechanics are not happy about it. So
call out.
If there are any famous engineers listening right now, we want you to stop. So call me at 916-782-4483 and meet me outside.
Well, can't put that one on the internet.
That was a fake number. Do not try calling that.
They're going to call it.
Oh, no.
It's your mom's number.
It's my mom's number.
Yeah. So I'm the exact opposite of a car person. Like, my dad will tell me to like put new oil in my car, and I'm like, which hole does that go into? So I took my car, my very old car that I was given, to Walmart to get a new battery in it. And I pull up in the, like, I don't know if you guys ever go to Walmart for oil changes. I guess they do a lot of them every day, and it's like pretty cheap or whatever. But I pull up in the oil line, and the guy was like, hey, are you here to get an oil change? And I was like, no, I was hoping to get a new battery. And he's like, oh, I'm going to need you to back out and get into the other line. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but it's like this super long, wiggly line that leads up to their garage. So I had to expertly back out. And keep in mind, I have not had a rearview mirror inside my car since summer last year because I broke it off.
About that. Yeah.
Never cared to replace
Right. You only have like the side mirrors.
I have the side mirrors that are like blind spot central. I can fit an entire semi truck in my blind spot in my little car. It's really bad.
That's awful.
But I don't, ever drive next to semis because I'm always going 150. That's not an admission of guilt. That's a joke. But I get there and the dudes are like, yeah, we just need to, make sure your car has, like a not covered battery or whatever. And I'm just standing there looking at this dude. I'm like, my car's from 1993. It's not a BMW. It's a Ford. There's no reason why I would have a weird covered battery thing. This car is not from 2019. And the guy was like, yeah, so we're just going to do that really quick. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I went and sat inside for like an hour and a half as these men continuously came back and asked me questions about my car. And I'm like, I could not tell you why anything about my car.
They're not certified when they like keep going. So like, what year is it? And you're like, dude, literally you would know how to do that if you just looked at like a certain number. Like I'm kind of cringing right now as a mechanic, but it's okay. They're Walmart mechanics, so I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, I don't either. None of the dudes look like they've ever done anything in a car before, except the one dude who helped me pick a battery out. He never talked to me. And the manager who took it upon himself to complain to me about how he was understaffed. Like I care. Like, I don't know why he thought that was the thing.
You are the person to talk to for that kind of stuff.
The person to talk to for that kind of stuff.
I think he was hoping to get an in on your influence in the Walmart industry, I guess.
I guess I was wearing mom jeans that day, so I guess I looked particularly fashionable. That was a word.
Particularly fashionable. Wow. Well, that's a cool. Wow.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I've always thought about that, like that there was like that there's an auto set like section for Walmart, but I forgot that they have like a garage where they actually like do vehicle work. And I feel like there are a lot of horror stories just from the fact that it's at Walmart, and
it's the Walmart of vehicle centers.
Yeah. And that,
no pun intended, but all pun intended.
Yeah.
Because that was the worst joke I think
it's just
made.
Literal at that point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
So parachutes, am I right?
Oh my gosh. Wow, dude. Yeah. So talk about a transcendent album for like music fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I got this new lamp in my room a couple weeks ago. Very fashionable lamp. You're like looking for it. It's the one behind you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And it's like this, it's got this like wide like bass on it. And it's really, it's like super art deco. I don't even know if that's right.
No, it's okay.
But I keep it on my amp and I'm like, oh, wow, I feel so cool. For those of you who don't know, I'm a musician, which means I'm inherently cooler than everyone.
Everyone. I think that was the word you were looking for.
Yes. Josiah is also a musician. However, he doesn't practice.
Right. So I'm cooler than most people.
Yeah, like 70% of the population.
70%, and then the good 30 that practice are like, heck you, Josiah. What's wrong with you?
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Now, like back to your lamp, it's really funny because it looks like a stone you'd find at like a river that you'd like, oh, this is a perfect skipping
For
stone.
sure.
If you just took off the lamp bit. I don't know. It just kind of looks like wow, that's gonna give me a good 5 skips across this lake. Kind of lamp.
I should try and skip that thing across my pool and see how quickly it shatters in the water.
Oh boy, what a sight! What a sight for sore
I would
eyes.
love to have my lamp shatter into the water. That'd be awesome.
That'd be so good. Can we get the lamp shattering on the slides?
Yeah, can we get that up on the? Oh, we don't have the slides for that. Wesley, you're fired.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Did he Wesley, did you listen to our first one? Well, I guess by now.
For sure did.
Okay, good.
Yeah. He was on the list of people that were like, "Where's episode 2 at, guys?"
Because did we explain that he's pretty much like the catalyst for this podcast?
Yeah.
Because I thought he was gonna be on our last one when we did it, and I show up and it's just Davey, and I was like, "Oh, is like Wesley not here?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, never mind."
I was as confused as you might be.
Because the way you phrased it made sense that he wouldn't be here, but the way I read it also made sense that he would be here because he was like, you guys should do a podcast. And I thought that meant he was going to like host it for us or something.
Right.
Or like do the whole sound setup and just have us talk because he's done that for people. So I just was like, oh, Wesley would totally do that. And then I showed up. Oh, he's not here.
I can see where the misunderstanding kind of
it was an interesting misunderstanding that I guess both sides were justified, but it's,
Yeah, that's kind of one of the problems with like texting people though, is like, it's even if you think you are being like the most crystal clear communicating something and you think you're being super polite, that person might read your text message and go, they hate me.
No, absolutely.
They hate me. And I don't even know what they're saying here. This doesn't make any sense, even though you're like, turn right at this exact intersection here at this exact thing, and they still might go, I don't know where I'm supposed to turn.
Right.
That's a terrible example because I suck at directions, but
it's okay. People suck at texting. So
yeah, I love texting while driving too.
Also, like I text my mom all the time, and I really shouldn't. Like, so Mom, if you're listening, I'm doing this. I love you first and foremost. But when I text my mom, the way she responds to anything sounds like she's just furious at me.
Yeah.
Because like she doesn't put any punctuation. It's always low, like just like low caps, and it's always something really like I don't think she thinks about it when she's texting. So she'll send me something like, when are you gonna be home? And like no caps, like no, like it's like fill in the blank for emotion, and it always just like in my mind sounds really terrifying, even though my mom isn't really like always that way. It's only when she's like mad she would do that, but like on text it's like she's always mad. And then I'll call her or something and she'll be like, what? I'm like, Mom, why are you like mad at me? She's like, what are you talking about? I just was like trying to figure out where you were. And didn't. And so it's like I've had so many like low-key infuriating conversations on text with my mom, only to find out that like none of us were mad to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all a big misunderstanding. So
yeah,
for that reason, I really don't like text unless you're sending, because when you're like sending memes or you're just like just having fun with the buds and being funny, like that's pretty easy to read usually. But then if there's anything like informational or like I that's why I think everyone should live like this. Never try to like emotionally connect with someone or like confront someone over text. Like if you didn't already know that, like I feel like that should be a really good rule. But if you didn't know that, like it's a terrible thing to do because too much gets lost in translation.
I had to do that recently with someone. I had to communicate a lot of like difficult things. And ideally, as a person who likes to communicate things often, I'd much rather do that in person. But just all of the circumstances pertaining to it, it's like I was left with the option of like, you can text them this or you can just never tell them about it. And I opted to text them it. And I'm like, I think I spent probably like an hour and a half plotting out.
Just crafting the text?
Just crafting the text message, because like it's so easy to misinterpret things. And I was like, I really don't want to be misunderstood in this instance, because that's not going to benefit either of us in this context.
Right.
And obviously, it's not an ideal situation to have to communicate anything with anyone over text other than plans, dates, etc., confirmations of things, or just chatting about whatever. But when it comes to talking about hard stuff, which I think is really important to any relationship, having to do it over text is like actually a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life's hard.
It's not even that life is hard. It's that people suck.
Oh,
Can I say that?
I think we might lose a lot of people if you say that.
No.
Like smash the like button if you're a person.
Smash like. That's like that Fairly Odd Parents episode where it's like you can't call anyone an idiot on the radio or whatever.
Oh, really? I didn't see that episode. No, that's actually hilarious.
It was like a really famous episode because like they got this microphone that made them. It's like in today's environment, this episode would have not gotten by. But basically what this microphone did was it made you have like the radio voice. And in this context, it was like this deep black man voice. I actually know which actor it is specifically. He plays the sheriff in Gravity Falls.
Oh my God. No, that was who I was thinking of. Like, he's totally
literally
famous.
That guy's voice.
That's so funny.
And all of these little kids keep getting this microphone and saying whatever. And then it's like, I can't remember the plot point, but basically they're all hiding in Timmy Turner's treehouse. I think Timmy Turner had a treehouse.
I think he did.
They were hiding in a treehouse. And all of the kids were like taking turn going, no, I'm blank in the morning, whatever his name was. And I think all grownups are idiots. And then it's like everyone in the entire town floods this tree house because they're like, you can't say idiot on the radio. And that was like the whole episode. I don't even remember how it got. I think Vicky got arrested for some reason because like you're legally not allowed to say that. But
that's super funny.
It's not that it's illegal. Well, it is illegal to say strong language on the radio. However, you won't get shut down. They'll just fine you a ton of money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like Dog and Joe, the radio show hosts that used to have a 98 Rock talk show. Now they're on, I think, The River.
Yeah.
They say the B word all the time. And I'm like, that's actually one of the words that you're not supposed to say. But I think they just like take the fine.
Really?
Like,
they're just value. Like, no, we want it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to say that word, but they're just like, they don't care.
They're just like, well, guess we'll pay money. I want to say the B word. But
yeah. And I understand the desire to have like freedom of language when trying to process a thought is really important to me, at least. No lie. I definitely swear often. None of you will ever hear me do that. Yeah. Some people do that might listen to this, like my close buds, but
right.
Yeah. I think it's integral to form your. I keep licking my lips a lot. This was a bad idea to have water. I'd rather have a dry mouth than a wet one.
That's funny.
Because I keep doing the thing.
I like finish my water like probably like 5 minutes in.
My cup is twice as big as yours.
Yeah, that's true. But no, finish your thought, and then I had another thing.
Yeah. So when like trying to critically think about things or process hardships within your head, I think it's really important to not restrict yourself in how you're allowed to think. That doesn't mean allow yourself to go, well, this person's the worst person on the planet and clearly I hate them. But like forming the thought in your head, I don't think you should be like, oh, well, I can't use that word because that word's too aggressive. It's like, no, use the word and then determine later on if that is still accurate.
Right.
You know? So that's just my opinion on that whole.
It's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah, or whatever.
Or whatever. I think it's really funny. Having traveled like overseas and gotten away from California, like people are so much more honest with how they feel and with what they say, and are like much less afraid to offend people. Like once you walk out of like the Californian borders, like, I mean, I don't know. Even Canadians are like really like, even some Canadians I met, they're just super like, no, yeah, I'd rather say how I feel. Like they're gonna be like, they are like, stereotypically they are really nice and they, you know, try to be very accommodating. But like ultimately, like many cultures that I've been to, because I was in like Asia for 5 months, tons of people like all the time were just speaking their mind like all the time. Only like there was some cultures that actually didn't, like island culture. They had a weird way of, they actually wouldn't communicate anything that they were feeling, and it terrified me because like there was this one time out of nowhere.
Island culture being
Island culture, like, so people that are from like Pacific Islands, like kind of in the southern hemisphere a little bit. They're like Fiji, Samoa.
Oh, okay,
some
gotcha.
Like, yeah, even like I don't think Hawaiian, but like a lot of cultures where they're like darker skin and they all are just kind of like in this smaller island culture thing.
For sure. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, sorry to clarify. There was one islander that was like, he's amazing. He's super funny. And he was on like a mission base that I was living at, and he got frustrated that I kept leaving my skateboard out like in like the courtyard. And like, first of all, I had no idea I was leaving my skateboard out in the courtyard. I think actually sometimes people were using it without me knowing, which was fine. I let people use it. But he got so mad one day, he literally just hid it like in this garage. And like for a few days, I couldn't find it. And I was like, frick, where's my skateboard? Did it get stolen? And I almost thought I got stolen. And then like one day I see it sitting in the garage. I'm like, hey, what was the guy's name? What was this doing in the garage? And he's like, you kept leaving it out. I'm like, oh, you didn't tell me you didn't like that. He's like, well, you should have known. I'm like, I literally had no idea. Like, and I was like trying to, it was a really weird experience because I was like, there's no way you're serious right now. And he's like, no, yeah, you kept leaving it out. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like people are like, have so much different perceptions like of how they live than little Roseville. Like, I don't know, like, you know, because, and then on the other side of the coin, I met someone from just South Carolina, like, and
is this the
yeah, this is that dude. I've told you this guy. He came at the same mission base. He was a part of some discipleship training school, and he was about my age, like probably like a year older. So he was like 20 when I was 19 or something. And he had this big beard, and I also was like growing a beard at the time, and mine wasn't like super lush, but we were talking like the first night he came. It was like the first time we were talking, and you know, we're like talking about different stuff, and then out of nowhere he's like, bro, your beard is like awful. And I like, he actually like said those words, and I was like, oh, and I was so shocked that I just was like, yeah, you know, I mean, I don't, you know, not really. I mean, I'm not like, I'm starting it like, right, you know, kind of taking the more bashful side, and he just like was bashing my beard. And I was so thrown off because I didn't think about it at the time, but I went like back to my room and was thinking about it, like, man, who says that? Like,
right.
And I think part of it was, you know, his background, and he's a bit more aggressive just with how he takes on things, but
probably a type 8.
He's probably an 8, but smash that like button if you're an 8.
What up, D-Lo? That was not a call out. Please don't shoot.
Yeah. No,
that's not a racial remark. That was just
huge disclaimer. We love, if you're an 8, we love you. If we mention you in this podcast, we love you, and we are not trying to offend you. If you have ever been mentioned in this podcast and you're like, why did they roast me? It's because we love you. So meet us outside.
Yeah. Yeah. Square up.
Square up, dog. No, but that was another example of like, this guy was just, I don't like, I have tons of conversations with me, and out of nowhere he'd be super confrontational, like straight up. And it was kind of annoying because sometimes I was trying to encourage him, and he'd be like, why are you saying that? And be like, I'm literally trying to encourage you. And he'd be like, well, I don't know why you're saying that. I'm like, I just told you. So
I love you.
Because I love you. So and then I came back, and then I don't know. It's like I love California for their like kind of way. It's weird because I like and dislike how we try to be accommodating to how other people feel, but I think we take it too far at times, and we don't really express the real issue that's going on.
Yeah, I agree.
And then it becomes like this weird passive war that is unspoken. And I mean, that's like one of my biggest pet peeves. So
yeah.
Every day I'm trying to find new ways of how to not be passive and literally just say what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's not always easy, man.
Absolutely. So. I'm on staff at our church that we go to in the worship department, and I have a pretty like I don't explicitly consider myself like a leader at the church, just because A, that's never been communicated, and B, my job is like I'm the stage manager. Like it's my job to set up every weekend and like tear down and make sure the drum set is lined up right with the camera or whatever.
Yeah.
Things like that. But I'm also a band leader. So what that means in layman terms is essentially I have a microphone going to our in-ears that we use. We use custom in-ears, and well, Josiah doesn't. That essentially they tell us what we're playing. Like we have a little thing that sends what we're playing to our heads, and I have a microphone that tells everyone what to do. And I value like really direct confrontational communication, because I think that usually is successful in getting your point across, in my opinion, at least. But what I found is like with musicians, we're so incredibly sensitive that even when it's a factual thing, not even hey, your tone kind of sucks or whatever, it's like, hey, you're playing that chord wrong. We just ball up real
I
bad.
100% am with you on that.
And it's like, it's really difficult.
I take it personally, and I shouldn't. It's like weird.
It really sucks because like, yeah, we're like on a worship team together, and I'm like, you're playing the wrong chord. I'm like, hey, Josiah, what are you playing there? And he'll show me, and I'm like, oh, well, that's actually wrong. We're playing it like this. And I'm like worried he's going to shoot me afterwards because of like how sensitive people can be. And unfortunately, that's kind of like the case for, it feels like all of California sometimes. There are multiple times where it's like I'll try to communicate a difficult thing or like a very direct thing with one of my friends, because like I've said a billion times now, I really value that sort of stuff. And it's like they'll like clench up and just like turn into a ball, and I'm like, wait, hold on, this is for your betterment. I'm not trying to kill you. I'm not trying to persecute you here. My desire is like for you to benefit from this in like a healthy way. And
totally.
Ultimately, it comes down to, is that person going to receive that or not? And it's their job to. Yeah. But it's also my job to communicate clearly. So What are you trying to say here? You doing?
No, yeah, that's no. I'm just like frantically agreeing with you.
He's so excited about what I'm saying. He's literally shifting in his chair.
Is it cool if I like hold the mic? Like if I were to like lean back, or would that be awful?
I don't know.
Yeah, because
your chair's too high and your mic is too low.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't have a different mic stand.
If I just like held it though, like if I did this,
give it a go.
Okay.
Yeah, just don't. Just try not to. I just wanted to
lean back like this, and then kind of just keep it at like the same length for most of the time.
I'm gonna get a text from Wesley at like 2 a.m. someday. He's gonna be like, "Why the frick did you let Josiah?
Why did you let him do that?
Hold the microphone.
We couldn't hear him for the rest of the podcast. You idiot."
But just to like finish up on that thought, I've found that like at the same time of like, it's really important for me to communicate things that are like wrong from just like a work standpoint. Don't answer that. From like a work standpoint. Sorry, that was so aggressive.
No, it's probably best though. He would, my bud Max is calling right now.
Yeah.
And it's usually like a serious thing when he's calling me, kind of like what I've mentioned before. And like,
he wants to hang out a lot.
He does. He also wants to hang.
Yeah.
But sometimes he's calling because he wants to like connect emotionally. And I'm glad it's a phone call, not a text, because, texts just don't work like we mentioned.
As we've stated. Yeah.
Yeah. But it wouldn't be good because because
we were already spending as much time on this as we would have if you.
He usually, if I go like, hey, I'm busy, he won't like Brandon, I feel like will chime in. Max is like, oh, dang it. Okay, bye. And I feel bad. So I wouldn't want to like show it over podcast.
Yeah.
Even though I just said
You
it.
literally just
verbally.
exposed all of this.
Sorry.
Yeah, back to me. So like it's really easy for me to communicate things, hard to do. We're falling apart, dude.
What? Oh, sorry. I had to text Max. Sorry, dog. There's this bird over there. Max, I love you.
What I was going to say is it's easy for me to communicate hard things when it's about somebody else. But when it comes to how I'm feeling in the moment, in a grand scheme of things, like people looking at me in a leadership capacity, it suddenly becomes like impossible for me to say specifically what's going on. And I think that's the most challenging aspect of like being in any form of leadership as like a very emotional person, but also a very internal and like secretive person.
Right.
It's like figuring out that balance of healthy communication in a group context to where it's like you're communicating bravely so as to let the team know you're not on the right page or you're on a totally, separate book from them.
Yeah.
But it can just be really difficult. And I think when we're just talking about like how to talk to people, it can be really hard to say, hey guys, I'm having a horrible day and I'm actually really angry at all of you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause it's like, I don't want them to know that. That sucks. It's like they haven't actually done anything yet that should upset me emotionally. And I was saying like, musicians are so emotional when you have to confront them. I'm really emotional when I have to confront people because it feels like I'm like a dad, like slapping my child around,
right?
And I don't like that image in my head.
No. Like I'm punishing you as a friend, but you literally did nothing wrong. Yeah. So
also, I don't like being people's dad, but I'm just that kind of way.
Yeah,
there have been multiple times. There have been multiple times where I'm like, because you know how I am, like,
right? Yeah.
If someone says they're gonna do something, like, we'll just use Brandon as an example since we've talked about him multiple times.
Heck, you, Brandon, you're getting thrown under the bus.
We don't like you, Brandon. Just kidding. We love.
Suck it, Brandon.
Suck,
Brandon.
Like Brandon will say, yeah, I got to leave at 6:30 because I have a thing to go to or whatever. And it'll be like 6:35. And I was like, hey, you said you have to leave at 6:30. Is that still a thing? And he'll be like, oh, yeah, or whatever. And it's like, that's not normally a problem with us anymore because we've had a conversation. But like that behavior within me where I'm just like, I just keep track of, it's just the list of things I should not be worrying about, but I do list. Yeah. One of those is like other people's things that they've committed to. So like we were at camp. Our church does a youth camp every year. We recently swapped over to Santa Cruz. Super cool. But we were hanging out at our house that we were staying at for the event. And one of the worship leaders was like, yeah, I got to do some homework. And I was like, oh, cool. Cause he's still in school. Guy's working his butt off. Super cool dude. Just got married. Mr. Horvat. Yeah. But it was like, I probably shouldn't have said his name now that I'm about to tell this story.
Well, we don't know his first name.
We don't know who he is.
There's a lot of Horvats out there.
Yeah. We were, my friend Nate was watching baseball. He's the really good friend of mine. He was upstairs watching baseball in this nice like lounge room. And I come upstairs and I see him sitting with our other friend that I'm also talking about, Mr. Horvat, sitting next to him. And I was like, hey, dude, didn't you say you have some homework to do? And he looks at me. He's like, you're not my dad. And I was like, oh, I mean, absolutely. You're totally right. And I kind of had this moment where I was like, oh, I didn't realize that my, like, the way that I care about things are like, and that almost comes across as very narcissistic. Like, oh, how dare it be my fault? I just care about you. That's not what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
It's just the way in which I care about people kind of looks like a dad. Almost. Yeah. It's like, I didn't realize that annoys and also upsets people in certain contexts. So that was a really eye-opening moment for me. And then I was like, oh, cool, dude. You're right. I don't need to worry about that for you. But next time, if you could tell me ahead of time that this is like bothering you, that'd be awesome. Cause like, I feel like I'm always walking around on mines with people I don't know.
Yeah.
I just wish people would just be like me because I'm perfect.
Yeah.
As today has proven.
Smash that like button if you want to be just like David Brodden.
Yeah. Cause I'm perfect.
Yeah. Be very Cash Money of you.
All right. What's the meme of the day?
Dude, I don't know what the meme
Is
is.
this our new segment, meme of the day?
Can we do that? Because I just love memes a lot. Smash that dislike button if you hate memes. And
smash that dislike button so we know who you are so we can block you.
yeah. We have to keep the purists in the loop.
Okay.
We're Googling the meme of the day right now.
The meme of the day. Top result on Google. It is an office meme. That is the meme of the day.
That's what it looked like. What does it say? Is it appropriate to share with the audience?
It says, when you go the whole day without finding any new memes. And then it's Ryan from The Office, and he says, well, today was a fantastic waste of time.
Oh.
And on that terrible disappointment.
See, I feel like that was a fantastic waste of time because it was a meme about not finding memes, but we found one. You know?
Yeah.
They made one for the absence of memes. So it was like a weird,
right.
Like, this is our empty meme that we made for emptiness of memes.
That is like the lowest cost meme budget meme.
Yeah.
Really, I think screenshot memes of like TV shows.
I made them back when I was like 15.
Oh, I know you did.
Yeah. Like, they're not hard. You just find the bit.
Exactly.
And you like put the subtitles on, screenshot
Super
it,
low
instant.
effort.
Yeah.
But I think what happens is people go, oh, here's this extremely low effort thing. I'm going to capitalize on that. Like this chick who put a specific time stamp from a specific episode of The Office from a specific season as her like high school quote.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then someone screenshot that and just put it next to what the quote was. And I saw that meme for like 4 months. And I was like, this is stupid. Like, die already.
Right.
How did you know do away last 1 month, but this is still here? Like, I don't even,
right.
I don't understand this.
There's also like meme stealing, which I've learned is a thing where like one person makes a meme, or like I heard this whole thing. I watched this video about how like Redditors will make memes. They're pretty much like the hot meme creators.
Yeah.
And then Instagram people will go into Reddit and be like, oh, these are awesome. Post it on their page, take credit for it.
Yep.
Not credit any of the Redditors. And like, that's all like a lot of Instagram is just like stolen Reddit memes, which is sad because that was why I actually joined Instagram, was only for the memes. And I even like made this weird account that people couldn't really recognize just so I could like
picture
kind of be incognito just to be like, I'm just here for the memes. Okay. Don't try to like tag me and stuff.
Yeah. That lasted a week.
Yeah. That lasted about a week. And then I was like, I'm not into it.
Yeah. By the way, I personally don't endorse going on Reddit for like anything, even like a really, was it niche or niche, like
niche
fan groups? Because it's just a cesspool. Like all of the forum websites are just cesspools. There's
just too many people.
Yeah, there's too many people that know they can just kind of post whatever they want. No, I know Reddit's like pretty heavily moderated, but there are also a lot right. dedicated to gross stuff. And I'm like,
yeah, no, absolutely.
If any form of media endorses that unintentionally or intentionally, I'm like, I'm out. We're not doing this.
Yeah.
So yeah, speaking of social media, I don't like Instagram anymore. I only go on there because people keep sending me messages because they love me, because I'm so famous.
Oh,
I really need to stop it with these jokes, man.
Just get them all out, baby. Just get them all out.
Get married at this rate. Ooh, there's another one.
Ew.
Wow. I'm an incel at this point.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So right now, all I do is go on Facebook. So if you need to contact me, if you have my phone number, you're allowed to contact me.
Nice.
Josiah, do you have any closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts. Oh, frick. Gosh, it's hard to be put on the spot like this.
You're welcome.
Nothing I can really say.
He's single. He's looking for a woman.
That shouldn't be a closing thought. You shouldn't like, and right is where about, like, that's like buy our merch, but I'm the merch.
You are the merch.
I know, but I don't want it. Well, actually, I don't know that. And also, I don't want to be the merch because then I
really hope your mom listens.
Slavery is illegal. Is illegal. I don't know. Buying, selling of human people. I don't.
How did we get to slavery?
I don't. You asked for a closing thought, and now you've done it. You've made me go to slavery.
On that terrible disappointment, slavery. Thank you for watching Joe and Davies Doomer podcast.
Good night.
Good night.